G'day YouTube. Warbles on a lot here. 9 weeks into the vegetable garden attempt. And it's time. So it is to try the first harvest. This is would have grown up to become an onion, but it's going to be treated as a shallot, as it happens, to flavour potatoes. Then we have the star of the show, the Mutant Red Silver-Beets. The Mutant Silver-Beets. Given such an opportunity, of course, there shall be something of a taste test conducted. Red versus silver, I guess. That should be a pretty good feed. Of red silver beet. And now, I'm not going to take this one because it's actually pink silver beet. So that means we go to the actually silver beet. Right. So 9 weeks down the track, not only do we have one onion with which to flavour the potatoes, but also we have red and white silver beet. And zucchinis are also available. This one and this one, what's happened there is they've been sort of fertilised late in the flower's opening period, which means they haven't quite developed as has a properly fertilised zucchini, of which there are a couple across the two tubs. Okay, so let's see what we can harvest. This because it's not going to grow anymore. This because I want to eat something. This one because half of that's not going to grow anymore. This one because that's kind of like an actual zucchini. And so is that one. Okay. When I add in a couple of potatoes to go with the onions, then yeah, that ought to be a reasonable sort of a feed 9 weeks after planting the seeds. So I do be using store-bought potatoes because the ones that I am growing are not quite right yet, but they are flowering. As are the tomatoes. Beetroot are looking pretty good. We effectively have 3 time choreographed crops of corn. Don't know how that's going to work out because the early ones are the big ones and the big ones are on the north side and they're going to block the light until they get harvested. Carrots are going well, even the ones that have colonized the potato tub. And of course, you've seen all of these. And so we adjourn. To wash everything. Not because I've used any pesticides or herbicides or fertilizers or anything else. It's just kind of because that's what you're supposed to do before you cook shit that you've grew. Before processing the harvest. Potatoes take longest to cook, and I had more red than white, so that's what we'll go with. So we'll peel these 3, kind of oldie-fashionedy. Thus, these things last about 30 years, by the way, if you just leave them out here where the sun can shine on them every morning. So if you buy a packet of 5 and keep 4 in the drawer, you've got about 150 years worth of potato peelers. Where else? On all of YouTube could you expect to learn a thing as useful as that? There then. And then, to stop the possums from trying to break in and raid your property, take your vegetable scraps and, I say unto ye, cast them out for the wildlife to eat. Lost one. I sort of have a rule. If I drop it on the floor, it gets given to the wildlife. So it does. I could wash it, but I'm not that hungry. Okay. So that potato, store-bought as it is, can now sit waiting, ready for me to light the stove. While the stars of the show the Mutant red Sugar-Beets. Go into the pot, also washed and sloshed, that bath poured off and given enough water in which to boil. Followed by the actual silver beets, which I have to say from my Australian education look a whole lot closer to English spinach than they do to the silver beets that I used to eat as a kid out of my father's garden. But anyway, they say they're silver beets, even though half of the seed, which came out of the same packet, turned out to grow the Mutant red variety, which have the same leaf structure as silver beet, but they have the red coloration. Wash and slosh, pour away the last of any insects, and give them some water to boil in. And now, so, now to the zucchinis. Okay, that looks okay. That looks okay. That looks kind of a bit shriveled. Yeah, kind of more or less okay. I can accept that. I'll eat that. I'll eat that. And yeah, okay, I'll eat that. Not absolutely perfect, but better than no food. And it were home growed. Looks like a zucchini to me. Yeah, I can eat that. Wash and slosh. Empty away the insects. Give them some water to soak in and boil in. And now we prepare an onion to be treated like a chive. Don't know whether other people do this, but I've been eating the coals out of the onion tub for at least a week. So At an appropriate time, that oil will be added to the potatoes. We'll leave that sitting there. While we light the fire and reorganise things a bit. Okay, so the grand plan is that when the spuds come to the boil, that's when everything else gets a fire lit under it, while the plate stands ready. Hot, hotter, hotter-ting. Hubble bubble, commencing to boil. See what else we can cook, eh? Let the spuds sit there for a while as the greens come up to temp. Not quite boiling. And now I just give them a rest in turn. Okay, and now after a few taste tests, it seems about time to employ the strainer and take the water off the potatoes, leaving the greens to simmer and bringing the spuds in to be mashed. Which takes a bit of time. And then one is supposed to add a little bit of milk. Not a lot, but a bit. As well as liquid cow juice, we put in some solid stuff, which is of course melting in the heat. And believe it or not, the LP gas bottle is just about to expire. So perfect timing because the vegetables are cooked. As the potatoes become almost kind of semi-liquid while being mashed further with the cow juice. Right, turn that right down as low as it'll go. And go and get the water out of the zucchinis. Add in just a little bit of cow juice for the zucchinis. And we'll let them simmer. Pro tip, always have a bit more cow juice available. And also give them a bit of pepper. Can't hurt, can it? And then off we go. White silver beet and mutant red silver beet. So commencing with the potato. the white silver beet, the red silver beet, separated by the zucchinis, with the potato garnished with one chopped raw onion. How's that for a homegrown meal out of a greenie's garden 9 weeks after planting? Just so the yuppies don't feel left out, we'll add some pink Himalayan salt. How you get Himalayan mountain sea salt is kind of beyond me, but anyway, who knew that it would only take close on 3 hours if one insists on videoing the entire procedure from picking through cooking to the plate. And now, the moment of truth. Is there any difference between the slightly salted but otherwise unflavoured presentation of silver beet and that of Mutant red silver beet? I've got to say no. No discernible difference at all whatsoever. It's merely a different decorative colour. And the potato flavoured with the homegrown onion, yeah, highly acceptable. Zucchini, boiled and then simmered or sauteed in butter with pepper. That's pretty good too. So, while the swamp wallaby sits there and plays with the water dishes, I'm going to eat this before it gets cold. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. The vegetable garden is not entirely a failure. 9 weeks between planting the seed and eating the food. Ciao. Ginger beer too.